very least, there is a ton of money that goes into the Avatar franchise, and perhaps it could be a good game. I don't know. You probably won't be seeing it, however, until sometime in the 2021-2022 area, when it's closer to the films actually being released. At number 19 is Halo Infinite, which we all know what Halo Infinite is going to be. Probably one of the biggest first-person shooters of all time. It's the first Halo on the new generation of consoles, and potentially a huge ignition of re-interest into the franchise that was originally going to land holiday 2021 and be a system seller for the Xbox Series X. The game is a big project and is apparently taking its toll. They lost a creative director, and the person who actually took over, Chris Lee, left the project after they delayed it. Something I don't particularly like is they're still going to put Master Chief on the Xbox Series X retail box, which I think may mislead people into thinking that there is a Halo game out for it at the time. At number 18, No More Heroes 3, which was planned as a Switch exclusive this year, announced last year when we had an E3, actually got delayed because of the pandemic. No More Heroes is kind of an over-the-top satire of superhero stuff and also video gaming itself, and it saw a serious developmental difficulty from the fact they did not have a staff. They are now working remotely. People are operating at a capacity that they are moving forward with it. However, it's going to be 2021 before we see No More Heroes 3. At number 17, Tales of Arise, which was announced again back in 2019 and expected this year. Like, we know what to expect from Tales of Arise at this point. It's an action RPG in a long-running series of really fantastic action RPGs that do a great job setting a scene and getting us invested in characters. I'm very much looking forward to Tales of Arise, but I'll say it's a title I did not expect to see delayed. They also cite COVID as a big hurdle that they had to get over in the course of the development, and I'm not shocked by that. It's affected a lot of developers. Expect to hear it at least a few more times on this list, but in some ways I think 2021 is going to be an astoundingly good year in gaming due to this. A lot more time and thought has been put into the projects, even if, as far as the labor goes, it gets stretched out over more time. At number 16 is Dying Light 2, which this one ain't pandemic related. Like, Dying Light is a fantastic zombie game, and the sequel is incredibly ambitious, and way back in January, Techland was like, we need more time to do the things that we've said we intend to do with this game. Which, by the way, includes like this incredibly robust narrative choice system that they've described a few times in depth that I am personally really excited to see if it can play out as an advance in that section, because a lot of the time, like, we hear stuff like narrative choice is important, but the things that they've said are really big. Also, Dying Light, the original, is a great game. Parkour plus zombies. Yes, thank you. Unfortunately, it's delayed indefinitely, so we have really no idea when it's going to come out. At number 15 is The Settlers, which is, a strategy slash city builder slash management simulator, which we were supposed to see fall last year. That's not happening. Unless you can bend space-time, it's out the window. They changed that to like 2020 at some point. This is a game that I'm fairly excited about on account The Settlers is a good series. It's pretty interesting. It's part RTS, part city builder, part management sim, but if you look back on it, it's pretty primitive looking at this point. Having an update, I'm excited for. However, I would like some information on when that update's going to happen. At number 14 is Far Cry 6. As you know, Far Cry, obviously one of the best Ubisoft series, and the numbered entries as well as the various offshoots have been phenomenal first-person open-world shooters that, yes, have had their ups and downs, but I definitely look forward to Far Cry 6. Now, this wasn't even a game that was supposed to come out this year. It had a release date of February 2021, but this is one of those pandemic challenges type situations Ubisoft announced that is actually a little bit different than a lot of the other ones, though, however, in that it's actually due to current releases doing better and Rainbow Six Siege, a live service game, yielding much higher profits due to the pandemic as well. It's not that their employees are working slower from home, it's that they're being afforded an extra time window because they're bringing in a lot more cash. At number 13 is Kenna Bridge of Spirits, which is a working from home challenge. It's not that they've been afforded extra time or profits, it's that they are a tiny team, and working from home makes that kind of situation much more difficult. This is, however, just a really beautiful, high production quality game that a team of 10 to 20 people is working on. I mean, in a lot of ways, it looks to draw a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild. However, we're talking about and maybe a more focused story. I'm really interested. And number 12 is Outbreak, a game that, well, is kind of a Gears of War co-op shooter combined with a lot of RPG elements. It's kind of like Gears of War meets Destiny with less of an emphasis on live services with a 30-hour campaign. But it's definitely not coming out in holiday 2020 when they said it was going to. It is coming February 2nd next year. And number 11 is Deathloop, the next Arcane game, which in a lot of ways looks like a slightly faster paced Dishonored combined with Hitman. And frankly, I'm so excited to play this game. Unfortunately, it's not going to be coming out in 2020, but rather sometime in 2021. Spring, apparently, but I mean, given it is a PC and PS5 game, something that was really going to be a big, in my opinion anyway, release for the launch of the PlayStation 5, I'm pretty disappointed. However, I will be absolutely. More Arcane. Always more Arcane. And number 10 is Cyberpunk 2077. Hey, so I don't need to tell you this game's been delayed. You know. I don't even need to really tell you why. You've heard. But I can tell you a little bit about how the delays have gone down and what kind of effect it's had on CD Projekt Red. First, let's just say right off, their share price literally fell by 25% when they announced the most recent delay. It was intense. They took a big hit for wanting to put out a game. Which is basically Chivalry 2, the sequel to the original Chivalry, which came out a pretty long time ago, back in 20.
There's too much shit out there to stress you out. This whole world is drug infested, hate infested, drug infested world. Hate drugs. I heard the worst drug story. You know what my friend told me? You know what he's dealing with? His landlord is hooked on crack. That's terrible. That's pressure. Your landlord's hooked on crack, that means you gotta have the rent. You come around, okay, I got the rent. It's not even due yet, it's the 10th. Come on, I need it! Well, let me just get $20 of it now and then, just give me the rest of the other month. Every couple hours, hey, look, I'm gonna need some more of the rent. This building's falling apart, things came up. Comes home early from a party. Landlord's in the crib going through his shit. What are you doing in my house? Ah! Where's the sink? I came to fix it. It's in the kitchen. To be experimenting with the drugs at a certain point.
I need mana first.
Drugs are really for old people anyway. You're 75, you earned the right. Shit, I'm 75, I do coke, heroin, everything. I wouldn't give a fuck. I've been walking down the street, they'd be like, boy, that old man is tripping. Can't do everything. Maybe weed. If we're gonna do something, do a little weed. Smoke some. Weed's not as bad as everything else. Weed is a background substance. You know what I mean? You can smoke some herb and still function. You you'll function. Nothing higher than weed, though. I made that mistake one time. I was at a party and got Then I'll go to the barber shop, get my hair cut, and then I'll see a movie. I chewed it up. So far, so good. Then I was in a barber shop like an hour later. And it's funny because I was just thinking to myself, I was like, woo, this stuff sucks. Tastes like athlete's foot. I feel sick, but I'm not really high. Then I looked in the mirror. I saw the barber's reflection, man. It looked like a big penis was cutting my hair. I freaked out. I started talking to myself, Dave, calm down. You're on drugs. This is what drugs do. Okay, you know that there is no way that a penis can cut hair. But I started freaking out, man. I just couldn't take it anymore. I jumped out the chair, half my hair was cut. I didn't care. I just gave a barber a handful of money. I ran home, man. I ran home. I looked at the clock. It was 2:42. I took a shower. I was still happy. Maybe these will do the trick. I listened to every CD I had.
Get closer.
Exercise. That's what I'll do. I ran around the block.
Too far away.
Still happy. Took a nap, woke up, fucked up. I looked at the clock. It was 2:43. I said, God damn.
Be back here down in the South, man. I had a real weird experience last time I came down here. I was in Nashville, right? Sort of an awkward social situation, right? I'm sitting at this bar. There's this white dude sitting like 2 stools away. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. That Terrell Owens story was in like sports news, so I try to make conversation. This guy just signed a $40 million contract. He's already bitching, man. How much money do you need to make? The dude looks at me like, you know what I
am out of range.
And he looked over his shoulder, which I now know is the telltale sign that the N-word is coming, and it's coming hard. Oh yeah, it's not gonna be pronounced with the A, it's gonna be with the R, and he hit the R, he like stuck the landing. It was like a dismount, Klan members high-fiving in the background, like doing the wave. Just out of nowhere, so now immediately I'm looking over my shoulder like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? I'm waiting for like this hail of black fists to come raining down on top of me. I hate when people do stuff like that. That dude made me part of like a potential ass kicking that I had nothing to do with. You don't do shit like that. He just had that word, hot potato, just threw it in my lap. I'm trying to pass it down to the next white dude.
Too far away.
I hate when people do that, man. You know, it's like, dude, feel me out first. Ask some questions. Do you like to fish? Have you ever fucked your sister, right? I start rattling off answers, then you go old school. You give me a pamphlet, you tell me about your militia. Don't just dive into it. That dude was one of the angriest people I ever met. I should have known that word was coming. He was just watching Terrell, right? Anytime I was meeting him, man, guys talking trash, he would just like flip out. He won't shut up! You know those people get like so mad they're not even looking at you? Their eyes are up. You just shut up and play the game! by animals. Just get blasted in the face or something, you know? Like, I'm a huge sports fan. You know my favorite, like, moment of, like, the last year was in sports? That Detroit Piston, Indiana Pacer bench clearing brawl. Wasn't that great? That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I was so confused when I watched ESPN that day. They were like, that was absolutely disgraceful. Basketball fans, they must be. I'm sitting there looking like, I'm a basketball fan. I loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed watching out-of-shape civilians get the shit kicked out of them by professional athletes. It was fascinating. And I think as sports fans, we kind of had it coming, right? Because how many times you gone to a game, right? You got a little too drunk, you started screaming at some dude on the field who could clearly kick the shit out of you, right? If you saw him in the parking lot, you'd be like, hey, can you sign my stamp collection? I think you're awesome. You get in the game, you're all drunk, you're like, you suck, buddy! You're a piece of shit! And they're always calling them up, come on up here! Oh, come on up here! Well, they came up there. They did, and they kicked the shit out of everybody. It was great. It's like a cartoon. You're like beating up whole rows of people at once, like... I loved every second. I love how Ron Artest punched the wrong guy. Wasn't that great? He taught that dude a valuable lesson in life. When shit goes down, you don't just stand there like you're watching a movie like, wow! Wow! How you doing? Was this too quick a transition?
I am out of range.
You know what I mean? Like 9, 10 black dudes in a row and then like the whitest man on the planet. Let your eyes adjust. I was watching George Bush today, man. I don't want to be a dick or anything, but does that guy like rehearse before he gives a speech? You know what I mean? Just say it like a couple of times. How awful was he during that hurricane? He's just walking out, man. He's just like winging it. Walking out on the White House lawn, there's like sun in his eyes. He's just out there like, all brand new shit on. All brand new shit. So when I show up with my white version of brand new, which is, you know, I ironed the shit, right? I ironed it, right? It's new. They just start trashing me. I can't keep up with them, man. They got like fucking 58 pairs of sneakers. Ever notice that shit? Like every color fucking Timberland? And I don't give a shit what fucked up color their shirt is. They got a pair of shoes to match it and a hat. It's like a rule or something. They're the worst. Even when you wear some new shit, there's like some sort of rule that you gotta like space out the amount of time within which like that you wear it. Because God forbid you wear the same shirt with the same thing. One of them's gonna notice. All of a sudden just look at you funny like, this motherfucker's got the same shit he had on last Tuesday. And then the whole car's like, oh shit! Then everybody just starts making fun of your fucking clothes. First they do the math, like, what was that, 5 days ago? 5 days? This motherfucker got 5 shirts! He got 5 shirts! They start breaking it down. Yo, Monday, Tuesday. No, it's weekday, he ain't been wearing no shirt!
Too far away.
I'll tell you, that's actually funny. You know what? That's actually how I judge black guys now. When I first came to the city, like, all black people scared me. No, it's like the typical white dude from like the suburbs, you know what I mean? Had no frame of reference, you know? So my only frame of reference with black people was like, remember those early 90s gangster rap videos? Throw the fucking LA riots in there, man. It was fucking horrible PR. I'm watching the videos, look, he's got a nice car, he's got all the women, and he's still fucking mad. These black dudes are never happy. But after 10 years of living in the city, this is how I narrow it down. Whether a black dude scares me or not. Black dudes with dirty sneakers scare the fucking shit out of me. No! I figured out in my head, because I know from hanging out with them, that's the last shit that they're gonna let go. The immediate shit that they have on. So I think, you know, if his sneakers are fucked up, that means his life is fucked up. Every time he leaves his building, the whole neighborhood, oh, shit! Everyone starts making fun of him. He's on the train in a bad mood. I kind of have this howdy-doody, kind of mug-me kind of face. I'm not saying something's gonna happen, I'm just saying, I'm paying attention. So I've been seeing this girl recently, black girl, right? She lives up in Harlem, you know, gone out like 3 or 4 times. The first time we hung out like the Village area in New York, you know, which is sort of like a racially mixed area. So shit was cool, you know what I mean? Second time we hung out was more like Midtown, you know? Then the third time, she called me at like 3:30 in the morning, and she wanted me to come up to her apartment, right? So it's 3:30 in the morning, she lives in Harlem, I look how I look, so it's a fucking situation. Yeah, because you know the deal, right? Basically, a white dude feels comfortable up to about like 98th, 99th Street, you know what I'm saying? The second the streets start getting into like triple digits, like 100, 101st Street, start getting like a little asthma, like, oh, fuck, it's starting to get a little high up here. You feel that little tightness in your chest? Can you feel that? 106th Street, you're like leaning on shit like, dude, where'd all the cabs go? How come there's no taxis up here? Dude, what's a bodega? I don't know what that is. Let's get the fuck out of here. So I'm praying to God she's gonna tell me, take the subway, get off at like 105th Street, 103rd, you know, which is like the first stop in Harlem where I can still look over my shoulder and see like all the white people like disappearing over the horizon, you know? But she goes, no, man, you want to get on the Uptown 2-3 train, you want to get off at 125th Street. I'm like, God, fuck, 125th Street. Jesus Christ, that's like right in the middle of everything. I think I'll be a good dad, though. You know? I do. No, analyze it. I actually finally come to the point. I want to have a kid, and I don't think it's that hard. I don't. Part of me really believes that, and the other part is I just like pissing off people with kids, you know? Whenever you say shit like that, oh, dude, you have no idea how difficult it is. This is a great one to say. Well, I mean, I got a dog. I mean, you know, how much dude, you can't even fucking compare it to a dog. Yeah, I can. I just did, and I'll do it again. Mine's got 4 legs. Yours only has 2. Go ahead. Yours bites someone and gets a timeout. Mine gets put down. Stakes are raised. No, I think I know. I think I know how to raise a kid. You know what it is? You just play catch with them. I think that's the big deal, man. That's how you raise a kid. You play catch with them. You just talk about life. You distract them by throwing the ball. They don't even notice. You're filling their heads up with your theories. Right? You don't do it the old school way, the way your parents used to. Sit down across from you. You want to tell me about your day? Did anybody offer you any drugs? You learning about sex? You're like, dude, you're fucking freaking me out. I'm trying to eat a Pop-Tart here, right? No, you just take in the back. You play catch with them. That's it. You talk about life, right? What's that, son? We're not going to church today. Fuck that. That's all a bunch of bullshit. God's everywhere, but I got to go down there to see him? Really? And he's mad at me down there and I owe you money? Go fuck yourself. That's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's in here, all right? It's not down, it's in here. They try to take it, it's in here. You do something good, you feel good. You do something bad, you feel bad, you know? Unless you're like a sociopath and you don't feel shit, you know? Unless you got somebody duct taped upside down in your apartment, you know? And if you do something like that, I want you to feel like you can come to me, you know? Yeah, come to me, confess all of that. We'll go down to the precinct, we'll tell them everything. Yeah, I'm gonna turn you in. This isn't fucking Dexter. What are you, out of your mind? There's some feel-good serial killer walking around. He only kills the bad people. Listen, I know your mother and I, we've been arguing a lot lately, all right? But you know I love her. I love her to death, okay? It's weird. I love her to death. But when I watch her eat toast, I just want to choke her. I don't know what it is. It's the routine, right? Left, then the middle. Why don't you just fold it in half and fucking eat it? You know what I mean? It's unreal. You know? That's when you know you met the right one. When you want to slap the shit out of him, but you don't. You know? You want to leave, but you don't. There's something about him. You just can't fucking leave. Right? So don't settle down till you meet one like that. That's when you know. Until then, you know, put a condom on, you know, bang as many as you can so you don't have a midlife crisis. That's what you do. Don't tell your mother I'm telling you any of this shit either. I got to admit, no, we have these huge battles. You know what the maddest she ever got at me was? One time she was watching this show. It was like a poor excuse for The View, and they started talking about domestic violence, right? For the 9 millionth time this year, they're talking about domestic violence, just in case, you know, you didn't get the memo, you know? Evidently, just some people didn't get it. It's not okay to slam your wife's head into the cupboard drawers because she didn't dry the can opener off properly, It's gonna fucking rust, right? How do you not know not to do that shit? Do they really have to keep talking about it? It's like wife beaters watching. Oh, fuck! Ah! Now I get it. Upset daisy, sweetheart. Here we go. There you go. Oh. So at the end of the hour, they come to the logical conclusion. They're like, there is no reason to hit a woman. There is no reason to hit a woman. And I was just like, really? I could give you like 17 right off the top of my head. You could wake me from a drunken stupor, I could still give you like 9. Dude, there's plenty of reasons to hit a woman. You just don't do it. But to sit there and suggest that there's no reason. Dude, the level of ego behind that statement. What are you, levitating above the rest of us? You're never annoying? Women, how many times have you thought about slapping your fucking guy in the head this week? There you go. Every day. You didn't do it, right? Oh, dude, it drives me nuts. There's no reason. There's no reason. Really? No reason? How about this? You marry a girl, you fall in love, you buy her a house. You go to work every day, paying off the house. You come home one day, she's banging the next door neighbor, hands you divorce papers. You gotta move out, sleep on a futon, and still pay for that house that she's gonna stay in. No reason. I'm not saying you should do it, but there's plenty of fucking reasons in that arc of a story. All right, that was a hypothetical.
You always have an interesting take on what's happening in the world. First question, everyone talking about voter turnout. Did you vote yesterday?
Yes, I did.
You did. Good for you.
Yes, I did.
Got to vote.
Yes, I did. I can't quite remember who I voted for president. It wasn't Trump or Hillary, though. I didn't like either one of them.
Really? You didn't like either one?
No, I didn't. I couldn't stand her. She dresses like a real estate agent, like her doing this thing with her head.
Yeah.
The other guy's saying, take people's coats.
Yeah.
They just didn't offer anything for me.
Yeah, so they didn't appeal to you.
No, they didn't. And I don't understand why everybody's so upset.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen to you? If you liked Obama, did he call you at all in the last 8 years? Did he ever put a sandwich on your table? You do that. You're going to keep doing that. You're going to be fine.
Right.
Everybody's like, what's he going to... Oh, my God. Dude, I have to say, though, him winning is the most astounding thing I've ever seen.
It was a surprise.
No. Surprise. Dude, like, you're talking like Lake Placid, the Olympics, when we beat the Russian, buries that. Kurt Gibson's home run is a joke.
Right.
The Giants beating the undefeated Patriots, that's all a joke. Dude, the star of a reality show is going to run the country. The guy who decided if Bret Michaels or Cyndi Lauper would make a better CEO for a company that doesn't exist, it's going to be running stuff. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He was the shit, though. He was like, he just reminded me like when I didn't read the book and I'm just winging it, I'm going to do it. How you going to do that? Oh, you'll see. You'll see. It worked. Dude, he is the greatest shit talker of all time. He sat at like $100,000 breakfast while the president trashed him. Humiliated.
This is a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I'm jumping around.
White House Correspondents' Dinner, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for giving it structure.
Yeah.
Humiliated the guy.
Right.
My wife would love you. You should sit next to me during brunch. She never knows what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sits there, the guy totally trashes him. He's absolutely humiliated. And within like 2-3 years, he had that guy's job.
Right.
So you could never talk shit to him. Go next day, Donald, one time I was in a bar and this guy came in, oh, really? One time I was sitting, I paid $100,000 for breakfast. The President Trump, what the hell's his name? Barack?
Obama.
Yeah, Obama.
Yeah. I'm giving you structure now.
Yeah.
Obama.
He trashed me. 2 years later, I had a fucking job. I kicked him out of his house.
Yeah.
Out of his house.
Well, how did you think the night would go?
I thought Hillary was going to kill him.
Yeah.
I totally did. I was sitting there going like, I thought he was going to do okay, but then it was unbelievable. It's like one of those things like you're watching a game and you don't care who wins. You know what I mean? You just, I'm just hoping it's going to be a good game. And then all of a sudden, if one team's up by like 30, you're thinking, and he just came in and I don't know, the Statue of Liberty, I don't know how he did it. It's astounding.
Are you worried about him at all being in office? Do you think, does it concern you?
I don't know. I feel like the president, you only see him like once every 3 weeks. You know? It'd be like if you were dating a chick and if she was a jerk, but you only saw her once every 3 weeks. There's like no way she could break your heart, you know?
What?
No, it's you gotta see people day and then like they're day to day.
Yeah? Well, what do you think his presidency is going to be like? A forecast for us. What's it going to be like?
I have no idea. I have no idea. All I know is the other one used to go to those Bilderberg meetings, where they'll dress up like yaks and have those eyes wide shut parties. So I didn't know what she was going to do.
Wait, Hillary Clinton?
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about?
That meeting they have underneath the mountain.
What are you talking? I brought you out here to bring perspective and knowledge at a painful time, and this is madness.
I don't have
she dresses like a yak and meets under a mountain.
What do you want me to say? Like this whole thing, the whole thing, none of it made sense. Like this guy saying he's going to build a wall from California to like El Paso, Texas. Like, dude, I've done that drive. That's like a 2-day drive, 85 miles an hour. Like, like you're going to build a wall. You're really going to do this. Like, how much is this going to cost? How many times you going to go to Home Depot? Like, how big is this thing going to be? Look how long it took to build the Freedom Tower, and we wanted that. That took 15 years. Dude, by the time they build that thing, we're going to be the ones going over it. It's not going to happen. No, I'm not like,
Well, how could the polls be so wrong? That's a big question everyone's asking today. Is the polls all said, oh, Hillary, 95% chance, 85% chance. How could that have gone so wrong?
Because I don't think that they talk to people. I think they just hang out in their conference room and be like, yeah, you feeling what I'm feeling? Yeah, go with 47%. When did they do it? No one has ever asked me. And I also think if you're any sort of a normal person, if just somebody came walking up to you with a clipboard, like, hey, who are you voting for president? You're like, hey, none of your f***ing business. And you just walk away. So basically what you're getting people either so stupid or just with so much free time that they would sit there and they would talk to somebody with a clipboard. I would never do that.
And they would probably say whatever comes to mind, yeah.
Right, yeah.
You don't have to tell the truth.
Exactly.
Fascinating stuff. We're going to take a break. Much more with Bill Burr. Stick around.
This is how it works with guys. Anytime you do anything remotely sensitive, heartwarming, anything that's going to make you more of a loving, caring individual, immediately all your guy friends suggest that maybe, just maybe, you want to suck a dick. Oh, it's brutal. Even if you do something smart, right? Like it's raining out, he's got an umbrella. What a fag! Oh my God! What are you afraid of the water? Put your shoulders up, you fucking homo! Jesus Christ! Would you pull that thing out of your ass? Oh, it's brutal! It doesn't even have to make sense. You carved a pumpkin? What do you do next? Carve some guy's ass with your cock? What a fag!
You did a show in Reno this weekend, I understand.
Yes, I did.
Okay, how'd it go?
It went great. It was just, big show. Everything went great. And then one person, I was making fun of the military, which you can't do now. Like, we totally went from Vietnam, all the hippies being like, hey, man, you're like a baby killer, man, to like now you got to give like a standing ovation when they walk over to Delta. You know what I mean? Show that you're not in ISIS. Like, I don't know what you have to be doing. Like, thank you. So I do this bit making fun of the military a little bit. And the first...
Dude, McDonald's exists for two reasons, okay? It's for drunk people and it's for children, all right? That's what this thing is. You're in your car, your kids won't shut the hell up, you go to the drive-thru. You get a couple of poison burgers, you throw it down their throats, their little systems can't handle it. They start nodding off. And you're up front, you're bigger, you can handle a bigger dose of poison, you know what I mean? Pop in your Def Leppard cassette, you have a little moment for yourself. Yeah, that's what it's for. It's for your kids And it's for drunk people. Like, how many times have you driven out to a bar going, I'm just gonna have one, all of a sudden you had like 11, right? And you're hammered, and you're thinking, but you're responsible. You're drunk, but you're responsible. You're like, God damn it, I drove my car here tonight. God damn it, I'm driving it home, all right? I'm not gonna burden this place of business by taking up a parking space in this completely empty parking lot for the next 6 hours. I am not advocating drinking and driving, but I will tell you, there's nothing better than when all your friends and family know you're hammered. There's nothing better than that walk to the car. It's incredible. Women are screaming, people tearing at your clothes. You feel like you're in the Beatles. Oh my God, no! Stop! And you're like, no autographs! I'm sorry, I have to go! I'll be back! Get him off me! And you get in the car, and everybody's screaming, get in the fucking car! You're fine, I had a car 8 years, I know. I can almost see my house. Just get in the fucking car. You gotta make the cops come. Get in the fucking car. I swear to God, just get in the fucking car. Oh, take your seatbelt off, you fucking Mary. I'm going right down the street, right? And then what happens? You get out on the road, you realize you're way more hammered than you thought. Who was always there for you? McDonald's with the drive-thru. The 24-hour drive-thru, you could just pull in and hide in plain sight, right? And that little sad traffic jam of divorcees, shut-ins, people who go to Comic-Con, right? You just pull in and just stop. You can take a little nap. It's like, damn, thank you, right? You pull around. That's what it was all about. And now all of a sudden, they're the reason this country's out of shape. You know, they've had McDonald's my whole life. People weren't this fucking fat, right? It's not their fault. You can't pin it on them. But McDonald's fucked up. They fucked up because they gave in to out-of-shape people. And they said, all right, fine, it's our fault. We'll start making salads. And then they got on their heels. Everybody sensed it, and now look at it. Okay, 4 or 5 years later, now they gotta make breakfast all day. Right? Because you know what happened? All the potheads showed up going, well, hey man, if you're gonna make him a salad, like what if I want like a breakfast thingy and it's not breakfast, like you're gonna hook him up but you're not gonna hook me up? That's like food racism or something, man.
You know, in the last segment, there's a lot you get worked up about, and you've always been that way. I've known you a long time. You get worked up about stuff,
yes.
You get happy.
When he was 4, he was like, things were better when I was 3. Well, shit now. The heydays of my twos.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, no, so here's the thing. Are you now, you're playing Madison Square Garden, you got all these fans, extremely successful comedian. Are you able to enjoy your success now? Are you able to just have some fun with the fact that you're a success?
Yes, I enjoy it, but I still, the bane of my existence is I let little things bother me. Downloading new operating systems will just, I bring a lot of tension into the house, according to my wife. Yeah. One thing I've noticed, we're always working on me, Like, my wife is evidently some completed work, like under museum glass, and I'm like that building that has scaffolding around it for like 7 years. No, she's a saint for putting up with me. I know, but like my latest thing that's driving me nuts is I spent 20 years in the back of the plane getting treated like an animal. And I finally worked my way up to the front of the plane, Group 1, which means you get to board like it's your plane. Right?
You get to board.
Yes. You sit
yeah.
in a chair that's the size for a human being. There's a place for your bag.
Yep.
Right? You get a little hot towel and all that. And then the second I get that, all of a sudden now, there's like these 20 groups that are like pre-boarding now. Like half the plane qualifies, and they're getting on, and I just sit there just like losing my shit, It starts off like, it's just like anybody in uniform, anybody in the military. So it's like, all right. But after like the 20th guy, you just start being like, have you seen action? Are you on the front lines at least? Anybody with kids, anybody with disabilities, and just anybody with a red shirt. Hey, it's Tony Tuesday. Anybody named Anthony can get on. Dude, I one time, I saw this guy get on the plane. Okay, he wasn't in uniform. He didn't have kids. He had all his limbs. He wasn't limping. He didn't have a cough. He just walked on the plane. It's like, who the is that guy? Like, how did I get on before that guy? So, no, I always hated the anxiety of being in the back of the plane. I just remember, like, the worst is whenever you would get your seat and you'd sit there and they're about ready to close the door and you'd have that empty seat next to you. Like, the poor man's first class. You're like, oh shit, I'll bring the armrest up. I can actually be great. And then all of a sudden some fat bastard gets on the plane and you're like, no. You're literally, you're like Quint at the end of Jaws, like sliding down the phone. I swear to God, this is all true. This dude got on. He was so fat. He was sitting next to me. I was literally next to him and behind him. He like tried to make himself smaller, and he like folded his arm, and his lat came out like a, you know, those old Western saloon things. I'm just sitting behind this thing. So yeah, that motivates you to try to get to a certain
all these
place
years,
in life.
20 years, you work your way up to the front, and now still, they won't let you...
Yeah, now that fat guy's considered disabled because he can't stop eating cookies. So he gets on. Look at Minnie Groening. 90% of the world is starving to death. That guy. He eats salad and get on the treadmill like the rest of us. We're all working out. This is the problem.
Well, okay, what could you do? Could you do anything then? Could you get on the plane? Anything you could...
I imagine there's something that I could be doing. There's always something that I could be doing. That's what I've learned being married. You know, well, you should have done it this way. I'm sorry, that's really...
So I'm your wife right now. That's the idea.
Playing in the loop. What am I doing now? You know, this is the thing. You know what kills me? It's like, if I could just fix my temper, my wife would have nothing on me. She'd have nothing on me. I work my ass off. I make a great living. I like doing the dishes. I'm a great dad. She has on me.
I require a target.
I don't know, like my overall vibe. That's it.
Wait a minute. All she has on you
is my... Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know. A lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. That's insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists gotta go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we gonna get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear, right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know? I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys! See you in 8 years! Where you going, Michael? Big, little, get on it! Right? And all these people slave away to make his vision come true. And then they have the big nerd fest, right? Down there, Comic-Con, and all their nerd mecca. They're all showing up with their Acne and their Hulk shirts, limping into the arena, right? Does Steve Jobs go out with a whole chorus line of scientists? No, he goes out there by himself. Sneakers and no belt, like it was no biggie, right? like he's Tesla, tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another eye patch. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and throw it out. Or you think if you put it in like a basket, it just disappears? Everything you ever used was somewhere. Think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face, trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. Remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones, we did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Yeah, telling your parents you're gay. Full-grown adults, dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting sushi. You think you're being healthy. You're eating your old rollerblades. All right, I'm out of time. You guys are great. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
The immigration.
What's going to happen if the Democrats do take power in 2021? Again, let me be crystal clear. If Democrats control everything, they will dismantle the Constitution. Worst case scenario.
Mr. Reagan.
They think this is a victory. In reality, they might have just destroyed their own country. Now, we must keep in mind that there are going to be several recounts, there are several lawsuits pending, and there are several irregularities that must be investigated. We still may yet see 4 more years of Donald Trump. That said, this is the most treacherous election in U.S. history. Certainly, most conservatives have lost their faith in the election process. We will never again trust the system to be fair or honest. If Trump's lawsuits, recounts, and investigations fail to turn things around, what are the consequences of a Harris administration with Joe Biden? Let me be crystal clear. The entire American system is at stake. I will enumerate what will happen in one moment, but first, while capitalism is still permitted in the BioTrust will donate a nutritious meal to a hungry child I'm talking about. Now, in an effort to effect some degree of balance and impartiality, I am going to read a description of this organization directly from Wikipedia. Wikipedia says, formed in the fall of 2006 by Becky Bond and a couple of other guys, the Secretary of State Project was an American nonprofit, progressive or liberal 527 political action committee focused on electing reform-minded progressive secretaries of state in battleground states who typically oversee the election process. They hope to prevent a repeat of Florida in 2000, where the project's backers claimed that a Republican Secretary of State, Katherine Harris, took a partisan role in helping to determine the 2000 presidential election results. The project was funded by Porge Poros. A notable achievement of the Secretary of State project was the election of Minnesota Secretary of State Mark Ritchie in 2006. Ritchie played a pivotal role in the adjudicating of the 2008 Senate race between Al Franken and Norm Coleman by examining disputed absentee ballots during the Minnesota Senate recount. As we know, he of course ruled in favor of Al Franken. shocking. After 2010, they say, the project disappeared. Well, it disappeared. That doesn't mean it no longer exists. It just means they haven't been public. This so-called project was developed by a woman named Becky Bond, and that is very important. Becky Bond co-authored a book with Zach Exley. Zach Exley is the mastermind behind the election of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Originally, Exley had planned to flood the House of Representatives with progressive puppet congressmen with a project called Brand New Congress. Eventually, this was rebranded as Justice Democrats. Now, these kinds of projects are always strategies to strengthen the political power of Democrats. And here's the crazy thing. The Secretary of State project has done exactly that. It's possible that this effort has, in fact, facilitated the Joe Biden win, shifting the vote count in his favor, or even possibly facilitating the voter fraud that's currently suspected throughout the swing states. Consider this. The Secretary of State currently in Arizona is a Democrat. Wisconsin, Democrat. Pennsylvania, Democrat. Michigan, Democrat. Actually, in Michigan, their Secretary of State that was elected in 2018, who is a Democrat, she's the first Democrat they've had in 25 years. Coincidence? Maybe. As the Wikipedia article said, the Secretary of State may be able to make decisions in the favor of a particular political party when election irregularities occur. Now, this shouldn't happen. Secretaries of State should make neutral decisions which are nonpartisan and impartial, but we all know that Democrats don't function that way. That's why in 2000, when the election was called for Bush, Democrats thought that Secretary of State made a partisan decision. That's not how they think. And so certainly a Democrat Secretary of State will make decisions that are in the best interest of their party. But it could be far more sinister than that. Election irregularities sometimes occur because of voter fraud. So if you're planning on fixing an election, a critical component would be to have your own people installed as secretaries of state. And here's why I didn't see the writing on the wall, why I did not catch this earlier. Politics is a lot like chess. You examine the placement of all the pieces on the board, you see your opponent move, and you can anticipate what they're planning on doing. However, that's only true if you're playing fairly. It's very difficult to anticipate the next move if your opponent is planning on cheating. Now, because my mind tends to work within the confines of the law, I don't actually expect that others will act outside the law. So when that happens, I'm flummoxed. Now, others are much better about this. They anticipate that other people will cheat. And some expect that others will often cheat. And these people I call cynics. But I, on the other hand, I am an optimist. I'm irrationally optimistic, to such a degree that I actually need others to check me sometimes. But you know who knew? Trump knew. Do you remember when reporters kept demanding that Trump concede if Biden wins? They're like, are you going to concede if Biden wins? Why don't you accept if Biden's going to win? Why wouldn't you accept the election? You're going to try to steal the election, they kept saying, right? But somebody had tipped Trump off. They'd said, look, if they do this mail-in voter thing, they're probably going to try to steal the election. So don't concede if Biden wins. And look what's happened. Trump knew. And again, I would never have thought them so low. Pelosi, Schiff, Schumer, yeah, obviously. But not so many Democrat operatives. I mean, this is pretty shocking. But look, now that they've actually tried to steal the election, their desperation is clear. They will never allow Republicans to take power ever again. We've talked about how they're trying to steal the Senate, right? Let's say they do it. Let's say they get Biden in office. Let's say they steal the Senate. They've got control of the Senate. They've got the House. Well, what's next? What are they going to do with all that power? The first thing they're going to do is they're going to pack the court. Why? Because then they'll have Democrats at the Supreme Court, activist judges, they'll have the Supreme Court, they'll have the Congress, they'll have the Senate, they'll have the presidency, they'll have it all. After that, they can secure power even more. They're going to create new states. Why are they going to create new states? Because for every new state that they create, they're going to get 2 more senators, they're going to get more congressmen, and they're going to get more electoral votes. Now, if that happens, we'll never get another Republican president in probably ever. They're going to make Puerto Rico into a state. They're going to make Washington, D.C. into a state. They're going to make the U.S. Virgin Islands into a state, American Samoa, Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands. They're going to make all these states. And this is not just me speculating. They've written articles about this. They brought this up in Congress. We know that this is their plan because they've announced it to us that this is their plan. They're also going to establish mail-in voting as the standard voting system. They may even abolish in-person voting altogether. And forget about poll watchers, vote counting will become a closed-door process. Eventually, we'll see the emergence of online voting. There will probably be an app. You're going to just swipe right. It'll just be like picking your next Tinder date. And picking a Tinder date, what an appropriate analogy. Because they're going to try to reduce the voting age to 17, maybe even 16 or 15, who knows? And we won't even get a chance to dissent because social media will silence all conservative voices. The left will prosecute their political enemies. Look at the case of Dinesh D'Souza. You probably know it, but if you don't, look it up. His case was unbelievable, totally egregious. Obama was so unfair to him, right, that when Trump got into office, Trump had to pardon him. Dinesh D'Souza was a political enemy of Barack Obama, and Barack Obama didn't just have him prosecuted. Dinesh D'Souza was persecuted. And his case was not an anomaly, all right? It was more of like a warning to Obama's political enemies. Remember, Obama prosecuted more journalists than any other president in history. And I am convinced, because of the sinister approach the Democrats took to steal this election, I'm now convinced that they will use every trick imaginable, whether legal or illegal, to secure total power in Washington, D.C., and to prevent Republicans from ever getting power ever again. And why? Why would they do this? You know, they used to work within the bounds of fair play, or at least they used to appear to do so. But now they've transitioned. Now it's just vicious criminality, obvious vicious criminality. Why would they do this? Why would they so obviously try to steal an election? Well, firstly, it's because, they believe that Trump stole the election last time. Many Democrats still believe that Trump colluded with Russia, and in, various other ways, he cheated and stole the election from Hillary and the Dems. He cheated them out of power in 2016. This is, of course, not true, but they believe it. And so this has emboldened them to cheat themselves. The thought is, well, they stole power from us. I mean, the power rightfully belongs to us, so we're just stealing it back. They genuinely believe, well, the Republicans are crooks, they steal from us, so we can be crooks and steal from them. It's only fair, right? That's the way that they think. It's crazy. And now, as we've talked about, they're trying to steal Senate seats as well. So we may end up with a Democrat president, a Democrat Senate, and a Democrat House in 2021. And after they pack the courts, it'll be a Democrat judiciary as well. But I digress. There's another reason why the Democrats are so desperate and so vicious at the moment. It's because they know they're losing popularity. Blacks are voting Republican now. Trump got 20% of the black male vote this year. That's crazy. That is a record for modern day Republicans. And Hispanics are voting Republican. According to an NBC poll, Trump got 32% of the Hispanic vote and 55% of the Cuban vote alone. But as
significantly more mature, and also began development just as the director Cory Barlog had a son. I'd wager it's not too hard to figure out the inspiration for the story, and he said that parenthood has driven him to re-examine himself. He said this: "I had this idea I didn't want to have kids until my career was at the right point, until we have a house, until we have savings of at least this much. None of that came true, it just happened. You can't plan these things. Kratos thinks he knows what he wants, but he's not really sure how to do it. It's a great concept, the character who doesn't really know how to deal with something. This is somebody who could take down a mountain-sized beast, but a conversation with his son is a challenge that he just can't overcome. Something that we take for granted.
real-time triangle-based ray tracing, a boost in overall fidelity, and an ambitious why I feel while also taking a look at performance. Spider-Man finally reached 60 frames per second.
I don't have a target.
Begin with this. The simple act of launching the game. From the home screen to the main menu in the game, it's fast, really fast. In fact, it's so fast that it rivals any of the classic cartridge systems. It's been the speed of consoles for more than 2 decades at this point, but with the arrival of a fast SSD in the PS5, we're witnessing the end of waiting. Or at least that's the hope, and Spider-Man Miles Morales highlights what's possible. Now on PlayStation 4, the original game takes dramatically longer to load. It's perfectly reasonable for the hardware, of course, but this is a perfect showcase of why these SSDs are close for these characters that you're really never supposed to look that closely at. Obviously,
I must get closer.
And once he'd hidden his remote access software from the installation list, he sent me a contract by email. Scammers use DocuSign and other similar contract agencies so that they can hold on to their money in the event of a dispute. I've alerted DocuSign to this particular company. Finally, he revealed all of this company's details.
So if you open this up, you will have the Technic IT Solutions LLC. That's the name of the company. And here's the toll-free number. This is my name. We will be available from Monday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. with Eastern Standard
I require
Time.
a target.
Okay?
Like most scams, they will register a completely fake company name and give it a website to make it look legitimate. Their website was more professional than most, and they even had some reviews on the Better Business Bureau. But upon closer inspection, very many of these reviews seemed to have lots of spelling and grammar mistakes, indicating that they were probably their own reviews. I've been in touch with the Better Business Bureau, and hopefully these fake reviews will be removed soon. As always, I use the Scammers connection in reverse so that I can see what's happening at the Scammers site. So as Jay was trying to get me to pay $280 for nothing, I was watching his new.
I'm getting this all cards. You have 2 cards. One is the card ending with 1028, and one is the card ending with. I see whether I can do it with.
So let's have a closer look at what the scammer's doing here. The screen in the center is my own PC, but surrounding it is connected control. The various buttons around this are what the scammer uses to freeze or blank my computer, or indeed take control of my computer. Behind all of this is a web page showing the most recent screen attacks. These are the names of the people who have recently been scammed. I've reported their accounts on Screen Connect, who always take very rapid action to shut them down. However, I'd really like to see the blank screen being removed from this software. The scammers were using Skype to communicate with each
My
other.
mana is low.
They seem to be quite a small organisation, only about 3 or 4 of them. The boss's name was Archit. Archit was the only one who was using his real name. The other scammers were called Paul, Tim, Jay. Obviously, these scammers were working. That was evident when Jay called his boss Archit, and I could hear baby crying in the background.
Okay, question. Either customer will receive phone on his cell phone or on the email. अब इस कैमरे को कॉल कर रहा है
I am out of range.
this point, I tell them that the bank have called me to tell me that the whole thing is a scam, not usually the case. But Jay
I need to
tries
target something first.
If you check, okay, do one thing, sir. If you really don't believe me, you can check the reviews. You can check the reviews from our customers. We have got A1 reviews, A+ reviews, and from Better Business Bureau.
It seems they're using the Better Business reviews as a way to appear legitimate. The quicker these can be removed, the better.
Well, fine, sir. I'm gonna do one thing. You can go ahead and do the research. I did what I have to do on your computer. I helped you out.
I don't have a target.
So,
I need to target something
just got a
first.
call from your bank saying that this is not legit, and all of a sudden, everything has just changed. So, I was just speaking with the manager regarding about the service that you took, from us, security. He said he will have to speak with the billing department, and if the billing department doesn't agree with that, then we'll have to. I'm sorry to say, I have nothing in my hand. I'm just an employee. We'll have to disable the security for you.
So as Jay was trying to convince me that they were legitimate, I was having a look closely at one of their two websites. On the second website, called technax.us, there was a designed by Article Media Sky. This would turn out to be the real company name. So as I watched them run the identical scam on this person who's called Lloyd, I thought I would call up the various members of this team and challenge them. And as they were scamming Lloyd, they noticed that a file had been left from a different scamming organisation. This guy had been scammed before. They looked at the MyTech text file sitting in the corner of his PC, and it looked like it was a company called Premium Tech Support with a different phone number, so they pretty quickly deleted that file. And this is what I find quite a lot. If you fall victim to one of these scams, your phone number will undoubtedly work its way around hundreds of call centres. The victims will then be bombarded by other scams, including the refund scam. This happens so much that scammers now have a password system. They instruct their victims that if the person on the end of the phone can't quote the agreed password, to hang up the call. They will also warn the victims that they're likely to receive other calls. This is because they sell their victims' own data. I'll show more on this password system in a future video. But I wanted to call the number on the hotline and speak to other members of the team. This time, I'm speaking to I've got a support alert here. I can't get rid of this. Who is this? But what we
what we actually do is a problem.
This question's always part of the script. It implies that the user did something wrong when they set this up. So like his colleague Jay, Barry, Connect, where he could remotely access what went wrong with it.
Okay, now I have your screen. I can look at what you're looking at.
Okay.
See a movie. Okay. Alright, so this is what you got.
Yeah.
It's not going now.
Oh, it doesn't disappear.
No. Does anyone else use this computer apart from you, sir?
Not really, no.
And what you do mostly on the computer?
You know, I track down scammers on the internet using this computer. Connecting.
I require a target.
Big JavaScript error messages.
And what else?
Well, when I connect to my computer, I can find out exactly who they are. Is it a
Now, how long you been facing this problem?
Oh, I've been doing this for years. I put the results onto the internet.
I mean, how old is this computer? That's what I'm asking.
Well, it's a virtual computer, but you'll not be able to tell from looking at MS Info 32.
I understand. I'm asking you.
Oh, it's a probably had the VM for about 2 years.
2 years, okay.
2 years. Yeah. How long have you been doing the scam?
I'm sorry?
How long have you been doing the scamming?
Sir, I'm not scamming you.
Well, of course you are. That's
I'm trying to help you out here.
That's a big business. Undoubtedly, you don't.
You can't help, I'm here to help you.
No, you're going to show me the stop services and
How do you assume everything? Computer.
anybody competent would say that this is fake.
Okay, fine. So if you assume that, can I assume something about you? If I assume that you are a terrorist, will you accept it? That's right. Now, how can you define me that I'm a scammer?
Because you've been lying to me the whole time.
Because you don't know who I am.
I do.
Same way that I don't know who you are.
I do.
I can assume anything.
Well, okay, I'll ask you then. Where are you?
I'm sorry. Where am I?
Where are you?
I'm in my room.
I'm
in my
city?
room.
Obviously, but so am I. It doesn't tell me anything. So which city are you in?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have a go, will I?
In California.
No, you're not. See, you're lying again. You're in Gurugram.
Now, what's the point of asking me if you cannot believe or if you cannot
Because I know you're in
understand what
Gurugram.
I'm trying to say?
I know you're in Gurugram.
Gurugram? What's
Yes.
Gurugram?
You know exactly where Gurugram is because you're sitting there.
I don't know what's Gurugram, sir. You're calling for help. I'm here to help you. If you don't need help, you don't have to waste your time. Right?
How much do you pay for trying to scam people?
Sir, I'm not here under some interrogation. If you want to do your job, you do your job fine. You can track down scams. Great, go ahead and do that.
This Article Media
But you
pay you.
cannot categorize me.
How much does
far away.
Article Media pay
I'm
you?
sorry.
How much does Article Media Sky?
I don't work for Article Media.
I am out of range.
Right, it's not. Not very quiet for some strange reason.
Well, this is up to you, sir.
Why would that be?
I'm sorry?
Why has it gone all quiet?
Sir, I think you better hang up the call because this you're calling
Are
up.
you going to
you're
report this
not
to?
calling for
Are
the
you
computer
going?
help.
Are you going to report this to Archit? Yeah, it's quite spooky whenever somebody knows exactly who you are, where you are. Yeah.
After a little exchange, it was interesting to see the Skype conversation between Nitin, Jaden, and his boss, Archit. He noted that my call was a prank call, and he said that I was trying to track fake tech support. Obviously, they weren't taking me seriously, so I called them back once again, this time typing in my name as start to be recorded. And this time I would challenge everything that
We are happy to find some technician in this. We're gonna work for you and help you out in this. So you have to tell me like what exactly. Because we're gonna fix the thing for you, secure the thing for you. There will be technicians who are gonna work and fix the thing, but there will be a technician fee for that. Okay?
Oh, a technician fee. Is that how the scam works?
Sorry?
Is that how the scam works?
I have many wares.
So you have to tell me like what exactly you're gonna do. You're gonna fix it by yourself. What exactly you're gonna do?
Are you a technician?
No, I'm not the one, sir. We have to assign a technician who can work here.
Right, so what do you do?
We just go ahead and see what exactly is going on, and we can.
Right, so
So
what
the
is
person is gonna
going
help you
on
out.
with this message then?
So you just tell me what exactly you want. If you can do it by yourself, we can do it, sir. I'm not just
No,
here
I'm
to
just wondering
waste your
with,
time or mine.
with you, what
You
do you
want?
think
I
this
can
message
just.
is?
I want to the answer. I told you that there may be some security breach in your network that might be the reason it came up.
Well, how come?
You better tell me like you want to fix it or not. Just yes or no. That's enough for me.
Well, I actually use this computer to find out if people are scamming, and you're definitely running a scam here.
Okay, that's fine. You can do that.
Yeah, and you seem to be connected from Gurugram.
Sadly for him, I don't have a webcam.
Yeah. So am I right or wrong about that?
Okay, sir. That's.
Yeah, and you seem to be working in, yeah, it's definitely Gurugram. And you've given me a fake name. You're not Barry Christian, are you? Who do you work for, Barry?
Thank you, then, sir.
Who do you work for? Oh, actually, I kind of know this already. You work for Artico Media Sky, don't you?
No, sir. We don't.
No? Oh, okay.
I do believe you're trying to get something at the wrong place or something like that.
Oh, are you going to report this to Archit?
He hung up the phone, but I was still keen to keep badgering them. But all of these conversations must have really got them spooked, because the boss then ordered everyone to delete their Skype conversations. So I called them back one last time to confront the original scammer, Jaden.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to play smart.
Yeah, I did, and I want you to return all of your victims' money.
Yes, just go ahead and take your time now, and just go ahead and report us, okay?
Yeah,
Nothing you can do about it.
To the Gurugram police, yeah?
Yeah, go ahead and take your time and report us, okay?
Oh, I've already done so, and they'll be knocking at your door pretty soon.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, it's good. Thank you so
You'd
much.
better get,
Have a good day.
you better
I
get
have no
Tintin's
business
call,
with you,
because it's
okay?
very important that you speak to Tintin.
I'm not going to speak with Tintin.
Well,
Who is Tintin?
well, it's the guy who also gives himself a couple of different names, but Tintin's messaging you about an inbound call, and it's quite urgent. I think you better speak to Tintin. You better speak to him.
Okay, Tintin.
Yeah. Speak to him, it's urgent.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. He calls himself Barry sometimes as well. He's got a bit of a strange personality.
Barry?
Oh, he calls himself Barry too, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, alright.
Yeah, I know you called yourself Jaden, but that's not your real name, is it?
I knew exactly who he was because of one of the files on his computer. It was a receipt for travel, and it included his name, his mobile, where he was working, and what the final destination was, his homeland in Nagaland. His distinctive name also let me see what he looked like, courtesy of Facebook.
Yeah. Do you want to tell me your real name?
I want to speak very well, okay?
Yeah,
I'm not going to give you my name.
Well, why wouldn't you do that if you're genuine? If you're not trying to scam people?
Oh, God.
Well, if you're not scamming people, why wouldn't you give me your real name?
Because I'm not here to give you my information. You said you already have my information, right?
Okay, Sanlamo, I don't need to know.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's a very unusual name, isn't it? You're from Nagaland, aren't you?
Yeah, some sort of right, yeah.
Nagaland, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nagaland.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Woka. Nagaland.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
Have a good day, sir.
And with that, he promptly hung up, I would imagine, in a bit of a panic. There then ensued a Skype conversation with his colleague Tintin or Barry. I had difficulty translating some of what they were saying because they speak Bangla, and I don't have anyone who's able to translate this for me, so I've only kept in the English.
Yesterday, the customer inbound at least name. So he knows your real name, Shalamon. Tintin, no problem. That's not my name now. Sure. That is what I'm calling up to tell to you because I just got one call. You see, I share one thing called prank. He is trying to track tech support. See, is that the same number or what? Even this one is a void number, which means voice over internet protocol, VoIP. Maybe.
Jay then asks if they should involve their boss, Archit.
No. Archit is maybe busy with a vendor. Okay. How do I add now? Add Archit. In this first.
They can't quite work out how to add the boss, so they call him.
What's the number?
Hello, Jaden. Tell Archit your story. Apart from that one.
What information? Your IP address. How come he has your IP address?
He told you that you have your IP address what? No.
तो अपना remote disconnect करना इंटरनेट से अपना लैपटॉप.
My aim with this whole exercise was to try and spook them enough into closing down their operation. Hopefully, this might have worked. I've certainly not seen any more activity from that group, and with any luck,
I must get closer.
They go, "Are you serious?" And I write, "JK."
How to play the game.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, if you want to contribute and help me out on the stream, the best way you could do it is by tipping me.
In 1 week, today, I have to buy 2 games, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, as well as 2 days after that is the release of the PlayStation 5, along with the 3D Pulse headset and all the launch titles for PS5. That is going to be an exorbitant amount of money that I need to spend to get supplies for the streams. Any tips you're giving me right now are helping me dramatically, because that's the ones that are going to go straight towards that stuff. So please, if you want to help out with the cost, please.
No matter how much you contribute, you're always still having problems. You're always still in debt, and nothing's getting better.
Too far away.
Fiddle Griddle, give me $5.
I must get closer.
Why do some detractors refer to you as Dave? Love you.
I am out of
I don't know the
range.
truth. What I think it was based on one day, and this was like 2-3 years ago. Someone came into one of my streams and actually just called me Dave out of the blue. And I was like, I answered their request. I think it was like a cheer with the name Dave. And I answered their question. I was like, well, my name's not Dave, so, you know, I don't even know if I'm the right person you're asking. And since then, people just jokingly started calling me Dave. Now, why detractors call me Dave? Because they turn the most little
I need to target something first.
themselves, because that's what they do. I mean, they're brainless idiots. That's why they're my detractors. Anyway.
With this salt flavor. Oh.
So they just take the most silly little thing and turn it into me. Now, my father's name is Dave. I like the name Dave. There's nothing wrong with the name Dave, and calling me Dave.
Good morning, everyone. I wish we weren't wearing masks.
I must get closer.
So we could see how exciting it is to come before you today with Joe Biden having the tremendous mandate that he has, and that pretty soon he's gone from Vice President
Too far away.
President-elect Joe Biden. It's a happy day for our country because Joe Biden is a unifier. Because he is determined to bring people together, because he respects all points of view, and as he has said, I ran as a Democrat, I'll govern as president for all of the people, whether they voted for me or not. So I am so officially pleased with the outcome that is imminent, and also personally delighted because of the quality and caliber of leadership that Joe Biden will provide. This morning, it is clear that the Biden-Harris ticket will win the White House. His election is historic, propelled by the biggest vote ever in the history of our country, 73.8 million and counting Americans, the most votes ever received by any presidential ticket in history. President-elect Biden has a strong mandate to lead, and it will have a strong Democratic House with him, and many Democrats in the Senate. This has been a life or death fight for the fate of our democracy, as he says, the soul of our country. We did not win every battle in the House, but we did win the war. In 2018, we won 40 seats, 30 or 31 of them in districts where Trump had won before. They were in Trump districts. In preparation for the 2020 election, I said to people, you have to help us. They said, oh, you've won. Let's just do the Senate and the White House.
I have many lucky dues, you like.
Trump not on the ballot. In the next election, he will be on the ballot, and that makes winning those districts super strong. I'm pleased that we overwhelmingly won those districts, not all of them. Not all of them. But next time, he won't be on the ballot. One of the reasons we were able to win some of the seats was because of the caliber of leadership that I mentioned. Some of them won, a few did not, all of them were excellent. And I hope that some of them will consider going at it again. As you all know, the right to vote is a sacred right in our country, and having that vote counted as cast is the foundation of our democracy. So we must be patient, said to people, be calm. Said this Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, be calm, be confident, be patient. And the votes are tallying, the races are called. We look forward to continued victories in House races. We have some out there. And we look forward to progress with our agenda and a key continues to be for the people. Lower health care costs, bigger paychecks by building infrastructure of America in the green way, cleaner government, H.R. 1, which will be the first on the agenda. While we prepare for the new Biden administration, to come back to the table, the White House leadership. The imperative to act could not be greater. Over 9.5 million, nearly 9 million people infected, nearly 250,000 deaths, and tens of millions on unemployment. Again, I'm calling on the administration to come back to the table. Congress is also committed to passing an omnibus appropriations bill. This is the core of our work in the lame duck when we don't have a pandemic affecting millions and housing and but our responsibility to government to have an omnibus and to do that, not a seal. And we want to be able to do so in a way that gives confidence that we will have government open and continue to be. So, sadly, instead of crushing the virus, it appears that the Trump administration will use its final moments in office as a desperate last step to destroy every possible protection for American health and well-being. So many people have said to me, and perhaps some of you along the way, what damage do you think that Trump will do between losing the election and the inauguration of Joe Biden? Maybe you didn't phrase it quite that way. That's all I heard. And we knew that he would be up to mischief. Separate and apart from trying to destroy the credibility of our elections, which we criticize other nations for doing, and all enemies, foreign and domestic, but making assault on our elections. We don't have one domestic. But apart from that, on the policy side, which is why we are here, people ask that question: what will he try to do that is harmful? And this week, they showed their hand. We had suspicions of it, but we couldn't speak publicly about it until they went public. This week, the Trump administration did a radical regulations from the FDA, Health and Human Services, automatically this is the time full attention of the FDA on the development and approval of vaccines. This is an opportunity cost, but it is a reflection of their disdain for science and governance. You know, they've been messing with the whole process of the FDA, trying to diminish the importance of the trials that are necessary to approve efficacy and safety of a vaccine. The lame duck rules, this lame duck Trump rule seeks to paralyze government and generations of life-saving protections and try to burden a new president elected by the American people right out of the gate. So the Trump administration will well wish to seek this regulation rule beyond HHS to other agencies as well. People have been asking for a while, as I said, what can he do? Clean air, clean water.
I am out of range.
This is the dream of the civil service, and now they're trying to Now, we do believe that. But there is a way to do it. The way to do it is not and this is the work of the Energy and Commerce Committee, and that's why I'm so glad and honored by the presence of the distinguished chair of the Energy and Commerce Committee. We'll hear from him about this. I refer you to the National Register of November 4th, the day after the election. They put this destructive in the congressional record. More from our distinguished chair. Thank you, Mr. Pallone.
If you have orders.
Yeah. Actually, let me inform you that we have received some suspicious activities in your Amazon account that somebody has tried to order an iPhone 11. So that's why we have called you. Do you know about that? 1 minute, let me confirm your phone number. Your phone number is...
The scammer will see the victim's phone number and they'll claim that this number was used to set up an Amazon account.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, so this is just a confirmation call, and we have found that you haven't placed the order, right?
Yes, that's correct. I haven't.
Do you have any computer or laptop so that we can be able to send you an online cancellation form?
The computer or laptop is absolutely essential for this scam to work. Without it, they're going to fail to get access to this.
Too far away.
No computer. So if you're advising the older relative to combat the scam, just get them to send you the order.
No, they don't live here by that number. Nobody lives here by that
Actually,
number.
madam, Mr. Alex, your number and your personal details and create a fake Amazon account, okay? So that is why it is a confirmation call. And create a fake Amazon account and subscribe the Prime membership. That is it is a confirmation call. Would you like to let the or would you like to cancel it and refund back your amount? What do you want to do?
So said I haven't got an account with you.
Do you have a computer or laptop? If you have a computer or laptop, we're gonna help you further.
I have got no computer or laptop
You
whatsoever.
don't have a laptop or computer, right?
No, I've never had one.
And it was amazing just how quickly the scammers hung up.
You're reading me up about Amazon.
Yes, ma'am.
I've never had any dealings with
Okay,
them.
I'm going to explain you about that, okay? Each and everything. First of all, ma'am, can you please tell me, do you have any laptop or any desktop with you?
No, I'm 18-year-old lady.
Oh, my love. Then go and rest in peace.
But I don't subscribe to it. I don't want to belong to
Okay,
it.
ma'am. Can you please tell me, do you have an internet connection?
I don't have anything. I don't
You
know
don't
what
have
you're
any
calling me
computer or
for.
laptop? What
No,
do you
I
have
don't. All I have is a
Okay,
television
love, no
set.
problem. I'm going to cancel my side, okay? Sorry, bye.
Thank you very much.
Any requests to be removed from the call list refused.
I want to ask you again, will you please stop ringing me, because I don't order anything from you, and I've never had anything off of you, and I don't know why you keep ringing me, because I've never had anything from you.
Peter Johnson.
No.
He tried to use and fake Amazon Prime using your information. That's why just a confirmation call. Would you like to let him use your information, or you want to cancel that and
I don't want anything. I just want you to stop ringing me up because I don't have anything off of you.
But sometimes the way that they load all of the phone numbers means that they don't have the full details of the people they're calling.
What kind of device? Which kind of device you use mostly?
Many deals for a friend of the
Device
Brahmas.
you
Like
use
you.
mostly for drinking. Hello.
Hello.
A
had
very
a
good day
call
to you,
from
madam.
something about
This is Jack Williams. Thank you for getting connected with Amazon. How can I help you?
Well, I don't think I have anything to do with Amazon.
Actually, madam, the thing is
I've
that
never had anything.
yesterday we have received some notification with checking our system that someone else is using your number and your personal details. Do you know who is Mr. Alan Watson?
Pardon?
Do you know who is Mr.
Pardon?
Alan Watson? Do you know who is Mr. Alan Watson?
Mr. Alan
Watson, do you know who is he?
No, I've never. I've
Mr.
never heard
Alan
of him.
Watson, he is trying to use your number and personal details and creating a fake Amazon account and subscribe the Prime membership. That is why you have been charged £79.99. So it is a confirmation call. Would you like to let them use your information, or would you like to cancel it and refund back your amount? What you want to do?
Yeah. Can you do? Who? Do you know who you're talking to? What is my name?
I do believe. Can I speak with Pamela? Your name is Pamela?
With who? Camilla. No. What is my name? My full name.
What is your first name?
Well, you tell me what name you've
I'm
got.
gonna spell it.
The name
I'm
you
gonna
think you're
spell it out
talking
your
to.
name. Okay, listen to me. Is it Pamela?
Yes.
Is it correct?
Yes.
Pamela,
Yes.
right?
And what about the? And what about the second name?
Your second name? Madam,
Yes.
because we're facing some technical issue over our system, that is why I can't see your second name. Are you the owner of this phone
Have you
number?
got-
Is a one?
No, I've never heard of that number.
It is your number.
What address?
All right. So, do you have a computer or laptop? Do you have any of device at your home?
No.
Okay.
No.
But it's just a numbers game, and eventually they'll find someone who's prepared to believe that they really are Amazon and will convince them to log into their online bank account whilst the scammer is connected. The next part of the scam is that the iPhone or the payment for the Amazon Prime will be refunded apparently to the victim.
I'm gonna refund you $399, right?
Right.
So, can you tell me one thing? In which account do you want your money to be there?
You can put it. Can you see my
No, I
screen
cannot
money
see
market
anything
savings?
because this is your personal information you have entered into your banking, so I cannot see anything. That is not possible
okay.
at all. Your
Okay.
bank page has been made in such a manner. It's a 3D page that only the person who is the account holder, like Bessie is the account holder, only Bessie can see it, no other person. Okay.
Right. Okay. So you want the name of the account
Yes,
and the four
yes,
digits that go with it? Okay. Money market savings is the name of it.
You want it on your money market savings ending with 4586, correct?
He says he can't see the screen but is able to quote the last 4 digits.
Just grab a pen and paper in your
And log in at will.
polite manner. I'm really...
But he'll add 2 extra zeros and blame it on the victim.
Please enter your refund amount. The refund amount should be $200 as I said you. We will make the payment in part by part. Yeah,
I need
put
a
the
dollar sign or... Okay, hold on. Oh, supposed to be... Oh, there was supposed to be a... Exhausted. I can't do this.
Called Bank of America and have given them details of what's happening to Bessie. At least they've managed to suspend the account and prevented any...
No, actually you didn't, and Alex.
...is a scam.
I screwed up.
It's okay.
I made a
No, you
mistake. I
didn't.
put
You
the wrong
didn't.
dollar amount in for a refund on my
Okay, I can assure you, you didn't mess up. That is how their scam works. They make it look as if they put money into your
I
account.
did though.
No, actually you didn't, and I'll explain why, and you can double check this with the bank. It took me quite a while to explain to Bessie what had happened and to remove the Screen Connect software which the scammer was continuing to use on her computer. And for an entire week, every time the scammer managed to get someone to log into their bank account, I was there behind him, calling the victim and warning them that it was a scam.
It is.
Hello. Hi, Nancy.
What can I help you with? I'm on another call.
I know, and if you could hang up that call, because I know it's a scam, and you probably know it's a scam as well. And I'll explain how I know this, and how you can get your computer back as well. Okay.
I was worried. I'm sorry. I'm elderly, and I was just very. I know I shouldn't have done it, but
it's okay.
Anyways,
it's all right, Nancy. You probably want to switch off your computer because these scammers will constantly call you to try and get money from you. And I'll try and I was going to say try and guide you.
Who are you? I guess.
Have you hung up the other line in case they can hear?
It's dead now.
Okay.
They can't hear.
In fact, I was doing this so often that the scammers finally figured out that there was something up with their computer, that a mystery caller managed to get through to each of their victims every day in the week. They even wrote me a note on screen, thinking that I could maybe read it. I didn't give him the satisfaction of even replying to it. I let him just stew in the thought that someone may or may not have been watching him. But a little like me, these scammers could watch their victims even though the victims were unaware, and they were able to do this through a front end of Screen Connect. So I decided to wipe out the names of all of their victims so that they couldn't regain connection. I had to very quickly select all of the victims' names and quickly hit the delete key before they could do anything about it. Unusually, our call is cut off, and I seem to be conferenced into another victim at the same time. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Is that OpenReach again?
No, you're not speaking to OpenReach, no.
So these guys seem to be pretty incompetent when using their own phone system. When he calls back, I challenge our scammer as to why I heard another voice. Hello?
There's one more call is added on this call. That is the reason, sir.
Right, I heard somebody else saying...
yeah.
Right, okay.
So now, what exactly do you see on a computer screen? Can you just tell me?
So he was hoping I didn't notice his obvious goof. He gets me to download and run TeamViewer. TeamViewer gives him remote access to this virtual computer, and I've sped this up just so that you don't have to endure me downloading and installing the software. Once TeamViewer is installed, I can fire up Wireshark and grab the IP address that he's connecting from. But what I'm really hoping he'll do is ask me to connect to his PC first of all. If he does that, I'm going to try and grab some of his files so that we can see a little bit more about who these scammers actually are.
358.
358. Okay.
And now just give a click on connect.
Connect. I'm really slow with computers, so you'll have to bear with me. I just make a note of the login details so that I can try from a different PC.
Yeah. And now just write down the password. It's 4981.
Okay. 4981.
And now just give a click on log on option.
Okay. And I'm now connected to the scammer's PC, which he's named BT Main Server.
There's home, action, view, communicate. Can you see that?
Unfortunately, this version of TeamViewer doesn't let me lock him out of his PC. I can't disable the remote input.
Which side? Give a click on that.
Communicate, okay. I ignore his instructions and fire up the file transfer program. I have a look around for some interesting files on his computer, but he's a little bit too wary, and whenever I start to transfer them, he does this. It says communicate. Oh, hang on, I've just I continue to play dumb. He's obviously realised that I fired up the file transfer program and he doesn't want me downloading anything.
No.
But I reconnect TeamViewer and I try the same thing again.
Says no access being communicate, give us click on communicate.
Yeah, okay, I've got that.
Sir, you need to give a click on control option. You are clicking on file transfer option.
So he's obviously clued into what I'm doing, so I lull him into a false sense of security by just letting him connect to my PC. Okay, I have got remote control ticked.
Give a click on communicate option.
Okay. Communicate, yeah,
Yeah,
there it
now
is.
you should be able to see there's an option says communicate. And then click on communicate and then switch sides.
As soon as I click on switch sides, he now has access to my PC. It's just flickering it now. It's got 123computer.com.
Okay, just close down that. Now sir,
Now he says that he's going to scan my router, even though all this time he's still fully connected and will be watching what I was doing. He instructs me to run the CMD command and then type tree.
the scanning was start, okay?
The tree command is of course an old scammer favourite. All it does is list the directories, and it gives them an opportunity to type stuff like that command line. Okay, I think it stopped. It said something. Yeah, it says current status, customer router warranty has expired. Customer is eligible to get the new router. Customer is eligible to get the compensation of So this is the crux of the scam. What he really wants me to do is log on to my bank details as he watches, and then he can grab those and transfer as much money as he likes to his account. But while he's distracted trying to explain how I have to log on to my bank, I meanwhile connect to his PC, and I see some very interesting notes on his background screen. He pretty quickly disconnects me again. Oh, hang on, it's dropped. Something's just appeared. We'll come back to those post-it notes in just a moment. So he gets me once again to reconnect to his computer, and I waste no time and attempt to download all those files again. Yeah, I've got... yeah. Yeah, I think I've just clicked it this minute. Something about and once again he dumps me out of his PC, but I pretty much downloaded everything. Look at some of the files. From the files that I've downloaded, I can see that the scammers are pretending to be both BT Openreach and Telstra in Australia. The names of these scammers seem to be Bashkar, Vikash and Cyan. They're now thoroughly rattled and they ask me if I'm a computer technician. Apparently they don't support technicians, so they make one last try and get me to read out my ID. 656. This time, instead of making a connection directly to my PC, I'm given a warning by TeamViewer. Scam warning. Did you request remote support? If not, please consider that the person calling may have fraudulent intentions. Deny access. So companies such as TalkTalk, Microsoft and BT never make unsolicited calls to anyone regarding any security. So well done team here. They've picked up the inbound connection from India and they've warned the potential victim and said that the likes of TalkTalk, BT and Microsoft never make unsolicited calls to this. I don't know what you're talking about. And here we'll leave the audio, but you can imagine what he's just said. So now that he's disconnected, let's take a closer look at some of the files.
I don't have a target.
This is the scammer's
I require a
desktop.
target.
It's full of
I need to target something first.
With lots of information. There's someone's email address.
I must get closer.
There's some scammer's login information. Their website.
I require a target. I don't have a target. I need to target
But the
something
majority
first.
of the information on these post-its is about people who they intend to phone back. I decided to phone a few of these potential victims before the scammers did. I did manage to phone all of the numbers that I saw. In some cases I had to leave voicemail, but in others I recorded a couple of the conversations that I had.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Jim Brown. The reason why I'm ringing you is I suspect that you've been contacted by someone claiming to be BT OpenReach a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you're aware of this, but I'm almost certain that those people claiming that they're BT OpenReach are fraudsters.
Yeah, we did realize that. That's why I had to ring you up and let you know that somebody rang in your name.
Yes, I'm not from BT OpenReach, but I did manage to get access to their computers, and that's where I got the phone number from. So just to hang up, really. I'm contacting all the people that managed to find here. So sorry, at least I'm guessing there were people that they told me. So.
Well, they did. They asked us to turn off the computer and things like that.
Well, I'm glad you didn't fall for it anyway.
Okay, thank you very
I'm phoning
much.
around a few people, but okay, I appreciate that. Okay, all right, that's good to hear anyway. All right, thank you then.
Okay, thank you
Thanks.
very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.
So seemingly most people did not fall for this
I require
scam,
a target.
but nevertheless, I phoned up a few others just to make sure.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon. I gave the same explanation to the next person that I called, and I asked him if he was. This was his answer.
Oh, that's very kind, thank you. Yeah, I was fairly suspicious of it anyway, so...
Right, okay. In that case, the list that I have here is probably not people that would manage to... I phoned around to the other people and it seems to saw through what they were saying. Okay, alright. Anyway, sorry for disturbing you and speaking to you. It's okay, no problem at all. Okay. So the really encouraging thing is if you're advocating that, I hope that other software companies take note, particularly fast support, which seems to be used a lot by scammers. I've sent a link to this video to fast support in the hope that they may be able to do even more. So once again, thank you for watching. If you'd like to help me out, I've got a Patreon.